Check these out. Comes off the bone, a little bit of chew, perfect. Watch the video. Here are the ingredients I'm going to use for the dry rub. I have this Kinder's caramelized onion butter. Normally I would just use onion powder. I ran out of onion powder, so I'm going to use this. It has a lot of onion flavor. Granulated garlic, New Mexico chili pepper, or just use chili powder, some mustard powder, some cumin, MSG, it's very important. Smoked paprika, you can use normal paprika if you want, some cayenne pepper, and of course brown sugar. And then I have kosher salt and some freshly ground black pepper. So let's put it all together. I'm going to be smoking these baby back ribs. I got them from Costco. It's a 3-pack. It's perfect for my size of family. And I love Costco ribs because they take the silver skin off the back. That's why I always get my ribs at Costco. Shout out to Costco. So let's put together this dry rub, okay? And I'm going to put it together in this mason jar here so I can put the lid on and shake it up. We're going to start out with... Okay, rather than you watch me measure every single thing out at a very long, slow 10-minute pace, I'm going to just fast forward here and tell you what I'm adding. My head's cut off because there's a cabinet that's right above the camera line, so we're kind of peeking through into the kitchen. So I'm adding 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of kosher salt, 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons of fresh ground pepper, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder. Here I'm using Kinder's onion butter. I didn't have regular onion powder. It doesn't matter which one you use. 1.5 teaspoons of mustard powder, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. You can add up to a teaspoon if you really like cumin, and 1 tablespoon of MSG. So now I'm going to take the ribs out of their packages. This is my least favorite part of smoking ribs, is getting these things out of these cryovac wrappers. Once again, you don't have to watch me struggle with this cryovac package. I'll just describe what's going on. Cut the package open and I'll tilt the package upward so I can pull the ribs out from the top and leave all the goo at the bottom. So then when all the ribs are laid out onto the sheet pan, I can throw away the cryovac package. And then be sure to sanitize your area because you don't want cross-contamination. So here are my ribs all laid out. Costco ribs are great. They take the silver skin off the back, so I don't have to peel that off. That's a real pain in the butt. We're gonna first we are going to pat these dry. Then we're gonna get these babies all dressed up for their nice sleep in the fridge overnight. You know, it's 9:30 at night right now, and I'm going to be putting these suckers on at about 8 a.m. They take 4 hours in total. So I'm just going to take some American style mustard here, and I'm going to use this as a binder. Mustard is really great with pork, and this will help the rub stick to it. It also offers some good flavor for the ribs, and I believe it does a little tenderizing as well. Get it nice and covered by this mustard. This is kind of messy, and if you don't like your hands all gooey and stuff, this part's a little off-putting. So here's a rub we made earlier here. It's in this jar here. And this jar is going to go through the dishwasher, so I'm not worried about cross-contamination. We are going to use all this. I'm going to start on the bottom, so then I can get most of the rub on the top. You only need a little bit. Try to get the sides where it's all exposed here. I want every part of these ribs flavorful. I'm going a little more sparingly on the bottom, just to get some coverage, right? But I want to save the bulk of it for the top. So here we go. Oh, man, it's already smelling really good in here. And that smoker is sitting on the patio, cold as ice right now. So we're just gonna get the bottoms. Now we're gonna flip it over. So you got good mustard coverage. And just in case, looks like we could use a little more. Let's really get that mustard on there. So here we want to ensure full coverage of the rub all over the exposed meat of the ribs, even along the edges of the bones. We want to get everything thoroughly patted down, and that'll impart flavor everywhere. Look at all this flavor we're putting onto the ribs, and now it's going to sit overnight with this dry rub and infuse into the meat. Okay, here they are. I've transferred them to a more refrigerator-friendly dimensional pan, and they are ready to go sit overnight in the fridge. So we'll see you in the morning, ribs. Here's my old Green Mountain Grill, Daniel Boone, getting fired up for the day. It's before 8 a.m. I'm ready to put the ribs on. We will be smoking at 225 degrees. We'll be doing 3 hours uncovered. We're gonna do a special foil wrap. I'll show you how to do that and what to put in it for 1 hour, and then they'll be done. Here are the pellets I'm using today for the smoke. These are the Green Mountain Grill brand. I get them at the same barbecue store I got my grill at. This is the gold blend. I like it. It's oak, hickory, and maple. This is a good general all-around grilling and smoking pellet. So here are the ribs. They're ready to go on the smoker. Again, we're at 225 degrees. I'm gonna put them on. This smoker barely fits 3 racks, but it does. Camera lady, why don't you come on over here and zoom in on that. Awesome. We're gonna have them sit here for 3 hours, and every hour I'm gonna spray them with a special spray I'll show you next. At the 1 hour mark, I'm gonna spray my ribs with this. This is just apple cider vinegar with a couple teaspoons of brown sugar mixed in. And after that, every 45 minutes, I'm gonna spray them lightly until we get to the wrapping phase. Okay, it's been 1 hour. Starting to look good. I got my apple cider vinegar and brown sugar mix, and I'm gonna just lightly spritz these guys. Don't want them too wet, just a little moisture. Okay, we'll do that again in 45 minutes. Okay, so we're 3 hours into the cook, and normally this is where we would wrap in foil and sauce, and so that's what I'm gonna do. Instead of saucing though, I'm gonna do butter, brown sugar, and honey. So you'll see when I go out there. You don't have to do this, you can do sauce, but wrapping in foil is key for the last hour. Okay, these things are ready to come out. So I've got my foil here, and I'll speed this up. I'll do the first one, I'll show you how I do it, and then we will get everything resting for the final hour, wrapped up and nice and sauced. Look at those beautiful ribs. So what I like to do is I like to take a rib. I like these long Costco aluminum foils. Take a rib. See that great bark on there already. Okay. Now, I am going to put 2 pats of butter down here. I'm actually gonna do a little more here. We're gonna be flipping these over and having them meat side down for the last hour. So the butter is going to add some richness, and when you wrap it in the foil, that allows the ribs to kind of steam and get a little more tender. So I'm going to put some brown sugar down, just a little bit. I like my ribs sweet. You can do a sauce. You can put sauce down here instead. You don't have to do this, to each his own. There's a million different ways to cook ribs, and they're probably, most of them are really good. And then I'm just going to take honey, and I'm going to drizzle, not too much, just a little bit on here, like so. And now we got the ribs, and set them down on this butter. That butter will distribute throughout the packet. We're going to make a sealed packet here. So the all fueled up, ready to go. So here I'm just wrapping the other two ribs, repeating the first steps that you saw. Um, I put them meat side down, and if you notice, I'll put the ones that were in the front in the back, and the ones that were in the back in the front, and I'll leave the middle in the same position. Okay, I kind of lost track of time. So these ribs have been on in their packets for about an hour and 20 minutes, and we're gonna check them out. A good way to tell for doneness is if you take your tongs and you pick up your ribs, and they give like that pretty easily, but they don't break in half. This is how I like them. Almost completely off the bone, but not slipping right out of the bone. Okay, I like a little bit of a chew. So let's get these suckers off the grill and take a look. Okay, before I plate these, let's just take a little sneak peek before anybody else. Oh my goodness. Look at those. Look at those. Those are beautiful. Okay, I'll go get these inside on the plate and we'll take a look at them. So here is one of the racks of ribs. They're all done. You can see there's a nice dark mahogany color on them. There's a little bark. The bones are protruding just a little bit, and it smells incredible in here. So let's cut one open. So we're gonna try to cut one open. I'm doing this one-handed, but oh, look at that. Look at that smoke ring. Look how juicy and tender everything is. Oh my goodness, folks. Give this recipe and this process a try. I guarantee you, these will be the best ribs you've ever had in your life. Thanks for watching.